The Niger Delta Amnesty program was conceived with the aim of engaging militants in the region to give way to development. But the fresh surge of violence in the region has raised concerns on the viability of the program amidst calls for development. On this week's edition of the program, my guest looks at how the Amnesty program has contributed to the development and peace in the Niger Delta region. Hello there, welcome to the program. I'm Gloria Umezuke. Many Nigerians consider the Niger Delta region as the goose that lays the golden egg. However, years of underdevelopment have left the region in bad shape. While the youths also took up arms against individuals, oil companies and government authorities. The Niger Delta Amnesty was introduced to ensure that young people are taking off violence and ultimately give way for development. Well, my guest on the program is the coordinator of the Presidential Amnesty Program. But up ahead. Following the recent surge of violence in some parts of the Niger Delta region, the Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, held several meetings with key actors in the region. The aim is to get their support for the government's plan to develop the region. Take a listen. The activity of militants in the Niger Delta region is gaining prominence once again. This is affecting the country's revenue. To address this challenge, the Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, is in the region to assure the people of government's commitment to develop the region. At this meeting in Port Harcourt, the capital of Rivers State, some prominent Niger Delta indigenes raised their concerns on the challenges in the region.
We respectfully request that as part of the efforts to achieve peace in Niger Delta, the federal government should do all that it can to complete the East-West Road.
One of the challenges we have in our region today is politicization of the Niger Delta struggle. Those today who are talking about the Niger Delta struggle went to bed. They were feeding fat from state resources. The moment that lifeline was cut off, they immediately went back and started agitating again.
We want to use this opportunity to call on the federal government to take a very clear and decisive step to try to bring peace to Rivers State.
The Vice President gave an assurance that the federal government is committed to the development of the Niger Delta region.
Those young men and women who are involved in illegal refining, our approach to that is that we must engage them by establishing modular refineries so that they can participate in legal refining, not illegal refining. And we are committed to making sure that the young men and women of the Niger Delta are properly engaged. We'll look at the amnesty issues. We'll make sure that amnesty continues. Some people have been trying to suggest that we close down amnesty. That's not true. We have made more provision for amnesty than has ever been made. And we have made more provision for social intervention. This state, Rivers State, has the second largest number of young graduates who have been employed by the federal government under our Empower scheme. This is not the time to make war. No, this is the time to make peace so that we can ensure that we derive all of the benefits that are derivable from the center.
The meeting ended with a promise by the federal government to continue to engage all relevant stakeholders to bring lasting peace to the Niger Delta. In our interview, the coordinator of the Presidential Amnesty Program, General Paul Boro, talks about the contribution of the Amnesty Program to the peace in the Niger Delta region. General Paul Boro, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you, ma'am.
Well, let's begin with the impact of the Niger Delta, the Amnesty Program in the Niger Delta. Has this really brought the needed peace in the region?
Yes, please, because the program has to do with human capacity development, transformation, positively. And it's on course and it's satisfactory.
When you say it's on course, we're still expecting a lot, to hear from you. We know that Amnesty, when it started off, it was supposed to take away sort of the unrest in the region and create some sort of succor for the people. But is that happening?
Yes, it's happening. We're training, empowering ex-agitators that are captured in the program. And it's ongoing. All over the world, we have beneficiaries of this program whose capacity has been developed in various fields: education, skills acquisition, entrepreneurship, just name, pilots, aircraft engineers, we have them. And this time around we are focusing on agriculture, which I think is the best way we should go for now, or the best alternative in order to revamp our ailing economy. So we are focusing on agri as a way, as an alternative to developing the economy of the country.
Give us more insights. When you say agriculture, how many people have you trained and what really is going on in the sector?
We've trained well over 1,000 beneficiaries of the Presidential Amnesty Program in the sector of agriculture. What do I mean by this? They will have their own land space with the equipments and tools to enable them take on that as an entrepreneur in the field of agriculture and fishery.
What's the timeline for these trainings?
It's 3 months. I believe agriculture is not a theoretical thing, it's more practical. But it is good they trained or have a knowledge of the theoretical aspect of it, and then thereafter spend more time in the field, in the general area where the field of a chosen is done, and then they will learn more practically than theoretically.
You see, a lot of people got interested in the number of trainings that went on in the yesteryears. I mean, there were lots of them, like you mentioned. Some went into pilots, of course, training, engineering, and a whole lot. But what really has been the impact? Were they reintegrated to help the federal government? Were they taken back to their states to set up something? What exactly happened to them?
I must appreciate, first and foremost, the President of Nigeria, His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari, for ensuring that the amnesty program is sustained and to allow for adequate capacity building of the ex-agitators and beneficiaries of the program. Like you said, they've been trained in various skills in air, maritime sector, aviation sector, agric sector, oil and gas as well. The ones that are trained in this field are back home, and we are in collaboration with some strategic partners to see that they are fixed, that jobs are created for them.
So for now, they're not doing anything?
No, they are doing something. I'm still speaking on. I have visited the local content office for those that are trained in oil and gas related subjects, so that they can integrate them. They have the platform to integrate them into various skills in that sector. I've also visited NIMASA for those who are trained in the maritime sector, so that they can engage them. They have the platform for engagement. We do the training and we post them out to the various sectors for engagement. This is what we do.
We understand that 65 billion was earmarked from 2016. So what, you received just 20 billion or something?
No, it was 20 billion that was approved initially, but it didn't go far. So we now made a request for the supplementary, which was approved. And that's what we're using now.
How is it affecting your operations?
Greatly. But we are managing in terms of prioritization. As we receive, we prioritize in the critical areas, and then we take it up from there.
So are there alternatives right now to supplement the missing figures? That, of course, you need a lot of funds to make this happen, to work on the program, to make it successful. What areas are you looking for to supplement this?
I'm looking